Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of GMS. Peace, love, and salutations to the Bayaf Dawadah, the house of David. All right, it's the GMS portion of the GMS Boston. I'm coming again with our weekly address, and through the Spirit, we're going to entitle this. Was it GMS? GMS Conversation. Yeah, conversation. We got the definition for conversation. Yep. Let's read that, and then we're gonna go into our conversation. This is what we're gonna have, man.
Yep. Conversation is a noun. It's a means of talk, especially an informal one between two or more people in which news and ideas are exchanged.
Yeah, and this is what we're doing. We're just having a talk, all right, with our comrades, our fellow co-laborers. You know, the hopeful elect. You know, the cream of the crop of you so-called Black, Native Americans, and Hispanics, and along with the women and children that's set to be delivered in these times. And the scriptures tell us that they have, what you got, Carly? What you got? They have holy conversation with one another. Go ahead.
Right. This is 2 Peter 3 and verse 11.
Yep.
Seeing then that all of these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
Yeah, now when you go into the news conversation, and just us talking about the news and an event and filtering it with the scriptures, right? So what's hot right now in the press is America, aka Babylon, or Babylon, aka America, leaving Afghanistan. You know, with her tail tucked in between her legs, man. You know, she went over there for 20 years, 20 plus years for what? You know, $2 trillion spent, over $100 billion spent to the so-called Afghanistan army, over thousands of deaths and murders, and all for what? All for nothing. All for naught, you know? And now she got to leave with the embarrassment of getting her ass kicked. But, you know, Elder Apostle Tahar did that show, Afghanistan, the Empire Killer, which is America. Was that the right title of it? I don't want to butcher it, but something to that effect, you know, roughly paraphrasing, in which America is an empire. When you go into the history, Alexander tried to go in there, all right? Genghis Khan tried to go up in there. You had the British went in there and got their ass kicked. Napoleon. You had the Russians in the 80s that tried to go in there, and that was the end of the empire, man. Afghanistan represents the graveyard for empires. That represents the end of your empire when you try to go in there and you conquer those people, man. And that's what America did. And where we at? We're at the end of Esau's rulership. We're at the end of this American dominance over the world. And what signifies that is you guys got your ass kicked by a bunch of, you know, sand niggas, as you would call them, towel head niggas.
So I got a quick article from RT News. It says, this was posted August 17th, which is today. It says, White House admits fair amount of U.S. weapons fell into Taliban's hands.
Oh yeah, now the Taliban, because the scriptures say you reap what you sow. Mm-hmm. So now they got all kind of Humvees, they got all kind of tanks, they got all kind of drones, you know. Go ahead. And they had none of that before. You thought you built the embassy, you did all these things that you thought that you was gonna hand it over to some coon Afghanis, and they wasn't having that, man. Right. That people cannot be. They gonna need the Lord to come down and conquer them people, you know. Right. Them people just can't be conquered by nobody on this earth, man. It doesn't matter how powerful you are, how strong you are. The Russians came over with mighty weapons in the 80s, man. They were tested. They had all kind of weapons that they had, but it's just their will to fight is.
It's this movie called The Warlords with
Nicolas Cage.
And you know the way that they funded the Taliban, because there's no standing army. It's just fractions all over the place. So they said, how are we gonna get the weapons to the army? And Nicolas Cage was like, there is no army. So a person from my job, he's from that region. He said, it's people down there that don't got no clothes, but they got an AK-47, right? In that movie, I believe it was one scene where they just flew a plane over the desert, dropping crates of weapons. Yep. And that means anybody can go and pick them up, you know? And that's how they form army, because it's just fractions. It's not, oh, we see them over there. You see that portion of the army, but they're coming from everywhere. And that's why you can't go in there and start a war with them.
Right. It was another movie. You got a scripture, bro?
Real quick. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords. beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong.
Yeah, let the weak say I'm strong. There was another movie about a senator, and it was going into how basically the Americans, the idea, I think it was a Texas senator, the idea jumped on him to, while the Soviets was in there, to, basically to fund, to back the Taliban, and to give them weapons, and they were saying like how they didn't want the Russians to know that the America was behind it, so they gathered up from all around the world a bunch of AK-47s, and they gave it to them. They gave them those same weapons.
In the back here, that's exactly what George Bush Sr. did when he was in the CIA. They basically trained Bin Laden, and there's an actual news article where they're bigging up Bin Laden and his Taliban fraction because they trained him how to
Bin Laden
fight.
was a CIA operative. Yep, he was a CIA operative. So that's going into what you reaping what you sow. A lot of it is just Esau setting these landmines and setting them and not remembering, and then ultimately walking on these landmines, man. Because and it's been like that countless of times, man. When you had in Iran with dealing with the Shah, that was America when Iranians, basically revolted and overthrew the American puppet government. America wasn't happy with that, and what they did, they gave Saddam Hussein weapons, weapons of mass destruction, mustard gas and tear gas and all things of that nature to go fight the Iran. And you had the Iraq-Iran war, okay? And then later on, you had obviously the Iraqi war with America and Iraq, because Iraq, basically Saddam tried to deal in the euro, and he wanted to deal in the dollar, and that's a declaration of war. When you tell America, you tell the elite, which is ultimately the elites. America is just a corporation, and a military enforcement of Esau's supremacy. But when you tell them that you don't want to deal in a dollar no more, they're gonna send in their military. They're gonna try to overthrow you if that don't work. They're gonna eventually send in the military. Get sanctions on you. So this has been happening all throughout the earth, man. There's an end. Yeah. There has to be an end to these things.
That's right. I got a little bit more in this article.
Go ahead. Let me read this real quick. This is Job 18:8. It says, "For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare."
Yeah, and you know what's crazy about that as well too, with the whole Afghanistan thing. I think it's like 90% of the world's opiates come from Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. So what they was doing was they was over there securing
military bases.
Not military bases. They were using military bases to secure poppy seeds and stuff like that. And the amount of opiates and fentanyl and things that derived from that spread throughout the whole world, damn near tripled everywhere in every nation. In every nation, it tripled everywhere. So that's also you. And then who's the main ones on opioids here in America? It's Esau Edom. So that's also you falling upon your own snare.
That's right. That's right.
That's it. That's it on that.
Yeah.
So go back to the article. It says President Joe Biden's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan had to admit that a lot of U.S. weapons intended for Afghan armies are now in the hands of the Taliban, brushing off questions of how the U.S. intends to deal with it.
Yeah. Now. See, that's your security advisor. So you're supposed to have some type of, and that comes from your intelligence agencies. You're supposed to have some type of form of intelligence on how this thing works. See, now Esau's in a quagmire. What did it say in the straits? He should in his fullness of his citizenship, he shall be in straits, because now he's in a quagmire. Because the only way to go get your shit back is to do what? Is to go to war. Right. And the war is what got you in the bullshit in the first place. So now what do? You just take this L and allow your adversaries to have these high-grade weapons. These are drones we're talking about, Humvees and guns and whatnot, or you go in there and start another war, that you really can't get out of. And regardless, you're in a position of difficulty.
Jeremiah 50:23 and the points in 24. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware.
Yeah, that's a snare. that bread is a snare. You know, the bird don't know it though. You know the old okie doke. You put the stick, put a string on it, put the put the bread in there. Yeah. And when the bird go, he pull it. That's what the Lord's finna do. The Lord is finna sweep the rug from underneath Esau's ass, man. He got that cheese dangling for Esau. Esau is just a bull. A bull just see red.
Yeah.
You know, that's all he do. They just charge recklessly at red. And that red is what, in the Middle East, right? Primarily because that's the scripture that you brought out first.
Oh yeah.
And the book of Joel, Yahweh Shabbat, which is the what? The valley
of the Most High's judgment.
Yep. With the Most High's judgment. Yep. You know, Afghanistan. That's a snare, man. Nothing over there for you. If that's why the scripture, we know that the scripture to be true. The Heavenly Father will destroy the wise men out of Esau, because the wise thing to do is just to get the fuck out of there. The wise thing to do is like, yo, man, fuck y'all, fuck these tower heads. Like, you know what I mean? We're not gonna die. We're gonna spend another $1 trillion. We ain't gonna give nobody no weapons. You gave the same people you've been killing weapons, and you expect them to just, you know, just to coon on like everybody else.
And that's what it's gonna go into. This is a quote. It says, "We don't have a complete picture, obviously, of where every article of defense material has gone, but certainly a fair amount of it has fallen into the hands of the Taliban."
A fair amount, all of it has, man.
Mm-hmm.
All of it, because it took them 2 weeks. They swept through Afghanistan. They was happy as hell.
Yeah.
They've been fighting y'all for decades.
Yeah.
And they've been fighting the American military. There's a lot of videos that have been posted on certain firefights. They were bringing the smokes to the American military with no nothing. And you see Esau with the hats. Esau got walkie-talkie. They got ear force. They got the helmets. They got drones. They got a standing army. But these motherfuckers ain't have nothing.
Some
Just a
sandals.
rag, some sandals. Got the kufi on, a dashiki on, and they beliefs. Like
Combat boots versus sandals, basically.
You know.
It says,
We start up with again.
it says, starting back at the top of the quote, it says, "We don't have a complete picture, obviously, of where every article of defense material has gone."
Right now, you see the picture of the Taliban. These niggas is inside in the state building, like the Trump supporters was in the White House, chilling,
Sitting down at
you know, taking photos. Like, what the fuck y'all thought, man? This is their country, man. Go ahead, bro. It's beautiful. And then everybody wants to blame. You know, you got the right blaming the left, it's Biden. You all fucked up.
I know.
Bush fucked up.
Yep.
Obama fucked up. And Trump fucked up. Biden fucked. Y'all are so stupid. Both wings fly the same bird, man. All right? Both wings fly the same bird. You want to say something? You say something, bro?
Yeah. So when they exited, those military bases, they got overran. As soon as those troops left, and you know the army, they don't take nothing with them. They usually blow up shit, but they didn't have a chance to do that. They just exited.
Yeah, they tried to give it to the people that they thought was gonna
Hold it down.
Yeah, the coons. That's all that is. When they go over there, look for coons and look for sellouts, people that's gonna betray their nation, and you're gonna be. They try to pop up a government over there and a president, and they wasn't having that, man.
Voting and all that bullshit.
Yes,
Women rights.
Them niggas is in the old. They like that's like a time machine. There ain't no street lights over there, ain't no modern hospitals, ain't no nothing. But you want to go over there and set up a democracy. And guess what? It ain't the time for that. It ain't the time for you to be spreading your voice. The time for you to get your ass kicked. That's the time we coming on. We're coming a time for you to lose wars, man. For you to lose sleep. For you to be confounded, confused, broken. Hey, you got what you had, bro?
I got
Jeremiah, right?
Yeah, go. Hold on. You got something real quick? Go ahead, bro.
Quote.
That's
It says,
yeah. No, Jeremiah.
It says, "Obviously, we don't have a sense that they are going to readily hand it over to us at the airports."
Right, so what the fuck? Yeah, we think that you're gonna just can you give us the weapons back, please?
Stupid.
They gonna be like, come get them. You know, come get them. We got them right here for you.
It's a snare.
We got them right, and they got drones. Them fucking raggers over there fucking with the drones and shit, like flying around. Learning how to fly.
And you know the ways of America. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna go right up in there.
I hope they go in
Yeah,
there.
they're gonna go right up in there because that's what's gonna fuel. That's the fuel to the fire to continue to wage this war. Man.
Oh, that's that time. They gonna give me Isaiah 14. That's that.
14,
Yeah,
okay, 14,
that's
yeah.
that time power. You gonna imagine they in their language talking mad shit.
Yeah.
They ain't happy. This is gonna be. This marks the holiday for them, man. The day that they beat the Americans, man.
Yeah, man. If I may add, Biden left 5,000 troops behind at the airport, but now he's sending another 1,000 more for that whole mess at the airport. So, like this brother said earlier, imagine them sending you home from your job and then calling you back and you're like, yeah, I ain't fucking going back to work.
That'll be icing in the cake. They like, yo, man, if we could just kill these fucking 6,000, like, you know what I mean? Just kill these. Yeah, just kill these 6,000. You know, fly a drone, just like you get a little taste of your own medicine.
That's right.
Fly an unmanned drone over your ass and start blowing you niggas up, man. And you niggas and spicks that want to join Esau's army, you know, go ahead, go over there and die. Die for democracy or die for freedom that you don't even have.
Isaiah 14:4, it says, 4. It says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
Hey, we living in a beautiful time, man, where you witnessing the downfall of our adversaries, man. You know, your mighty army for what? Everything done in vain for what? And on top of that, you went in there because of 9/11, right?
Yep.
And then come to find out who did 9/11. You was behind 9/11.
And they were saying what? War on terror.
Yeah.
What was it? Weapons of mass destruction.
Well, that was for Iraq, but this was just because of the Twin Towers.
So much that 9/11's coming back up again. You know, they always have that memorial, so that's going to kind of fuel it as well.
It's 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I was thinking about this. I seen this guy. He was a war veteran. He was in a wheelchair and he had the war veteran hat with the pins on it, and it said the Korean War. And I was thinking about that because the Korean War is often referred to as the Forgotten War. And the reason why it's a forgotten war is because Esau would like you to forget about that war because he got his ass kicked over there by them Koreans. Them Koreans, them Koreans and them Chinese whipped Esau's ass over there. No, not Vietnam. I'm talking about the Koreans. You want to talk about the Vietnam War? It's something whole totally different. But the Korean War, you got your fucking ass kicked, and so much that North Korea is still in the same state that it is to this day. They still have that same hatred, and people don't know why. They just they don't like our freedom. Nigga, they hate you because you tried to bring the smokes to them in the 50s, and they rocked your world, and they kicked you the fuck out of there. You know?
Y'all had that death to America spirit. That's that taunting proverb.
Absolutely.
So the Koons live on one side.
Right.
Right. And that's southern.
Right.
That's southern Korea.
Right.
And then the Dutch Koreans live in the north now.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Yep. That's
and
exactly what it was.
Parallel in between both of them.
It's still a military zone. It's still a declaration of really war hasn't been solved yet.
Yeah.
America just had to tuck her tail again and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I got some real quick. Another article going into the same topic. It says Taliban promises peace, amnesty, and rights within. Was it Sharia law? Yeah, Sharia law.
Yeah, if I may add something too, like they had this lady from CNN Anchor, right? She was there dressing modestly. You know, when America was there, she was just like normal Americans. Now she had to dress model apparel, right? Because the Taliban are not in control of the territory. Right?
And that's real law, man. You can't be dressing like a fucking whore around certain people.
Yeah, Artman, if I may add, they even sent her away because she said she's a woman. Yeah, man, they sent her away when she was trying to ask questions.
Those guys were having some kind of conversation, and she was among them. They sent her away, like move to the side. You're not allowed to be here.
This is men talking.
It says, and narcotics-free Afghanistan in first international media press conference.
And you see, a narcotic free, that's the first thing that they addressed because they understood that the Americans was over there just basically running a goddamn a drug ring, man.
Cartel.
Yeah.
A whole drug lab over there.
They're the biggest drug dealers, man.
Yeah.
CIA cocaine importing agency or narcotics importing agency. That's what it is. That's why they get mad at people like El Chapo and all that. If you don't shake hands with them and put them in the business, then they want your business going.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They'll put you on the news and make you out to be the next Manuel Noriega,
Pablo,
you know. But really, they be in bed with them until something goes wrong.
Exactly.
Until something goes wrong.
What's that? The Nicaraguan Iran Contra affair.
Yep.
That whole thing.
Yep.
Oh, we need the drugs from Nicaragua so we can buy the guns to go over to Iran.
Yep.
What we doing?
Yep.
You know?
It all links together, man.
Oliver North.
Yep. All links together. He saw you the culprit. You're the bad guy, man. And we, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, we said so. I mean, if so much through the spirit, the elders have been pushing for so hard, and it seems like at least for us, we were like underdogs in this fight of like information. And now we're so confident that all this information is getting out, and people are starting to gravitate to it. All we gotta do now is just sit back and just watch you fall, man.
Conversate.
Yeah, it's a conversation now. It's like, you know, just have a conversation about it. You know, and wait for Yahweh Shem Yahushua to do what he do. Because he said what? My determination was to gather nations. Yeah, gather nations in the Middle East.
And it's two. It was the Nicaraguan Contra effect, and then it was the Iran Contra effect. So it's two different proxy wars that they fight.
Jeremiah 50 verse 23. How is the hammer on the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
Yeah, what is a hammer? A hammer just bang shit. Esau is that hammer, man.
The muscle.
That out of Washington, D.C., man. One of those unclean frogs, man. Everywhere you go, your job, Esau's job is just to bang shit. You know, Iran, Iraq, you know, Kuwait,
Libya.
Korea, Libya, Haiti, you know, South America.
And we're seeing the beginning stages in Cuba right now. They're causing a civil unrest, putting the sanctions on them. Yeah, man, they're getting ready.
That's right. How is the hammer though?
Nowhere is safe from the grips of Esau.
Yeah, that's why these devils gotta be removed from power, man.
No, right. That's why you gotta be removed from power. Go ahead, tell me.
How is the whole hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon.
Yeah, that's part of that snare, man. Military. Yep.
And thou was not aware.
Yeah, because his pride blinds him. He's in a straight. Get that. Give me that real quick, man. In Job, he's in a position. He's in a position of He's in straits right now. Like that's a tough thing to deal with. Do I be humiliated? It's like when you fight with somebody, you get your ass kicked. You know, it's like
Take the L.
should I just walk away or should I do a round two? Try to maybe you know what I'm saying, get him in the headlock. I was trying to box him. Maybe I could wrestle him this time around. Like yeah. Try to say at least he had heart, you know. But it's just like you gotta go home, man. Esau, if he was wise, you just go home, man. But you ain't gonna go home. You're gonna send in your special forces to go try to recover your tanks and your weapons and whatnot. Yeah.
Job 20 verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
Yep.
When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. He shall rain it upon him while he's eating.
Yeah, which could say terror should make him afraid on every side. Now it's even worse, right? You got you got Vladimir Putin. You got Vladimir Putin along with Russia. They gonna go in there.
You know, if I may add, China said they want to step in.
Yeah.
They want to step in to help build
the infrastructure.
infrastructure.
Now China. I mean, if you brothers look at what China is doing in Africa and how Africa is quickly being developed, I mean, you got Moab in there building all kind of hospitals, schools, highways, roads, buildings, left and right. So Moab is coming on a whole total different way, you know.
He's staking their claim in the country by doing infrastructural work.
Right.
That's what he's doing.
Right.
So if he can get in good with the Taliban by doing infrastructural work with street lights, stuff like that. Hey man, we can hook you up with the simplest things.
Some power,
some running water. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's how coming like that is better than just coming with a goddamn hammer.
Yeah.
But Esau can't come like that because he got to come with the hammer.
And they both have the same common enemy.
Yep.
Right.
All right, so it makes sense that, hey, you know, if we're going to take him down, all right, sure, we can do it. That's why it says that these Russia's going to be a guardian to these nations.
Yeah.
They might just be.
You see, Putin, he does it on the slide tip. What he does is, you know what, I got a friend for you. Meet my friends right here, they're going to help you out. You know what I'm saying? That's how he gets in good, makes allies with everybody. Because he's shaking hands with everybody. And then, eventually, America knows what's coming. They know what's coming. Putin's going to be like, hey, you guys want some S-400s? I got some in the back. Yeah, I'm bringing them on out to you.
Next time anybody tries to come and invade you guys' territory, you can knock their planes off. What you gonna do then?
Yeah, I did that for Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave them the S-400s, and the Iranian president said if it was going 10 years back and the U.S. was tossing threats, he said they would be afraid. But ever since they've been getting hit off, now they're like, yo, man, what you want to do?
You seen the rhetoric of, because Bush was talking. We thought it was Bush that was gonna go in there. Bush was talking reckless, but they changed their whole tone because they see that, oh man, they got a missile defense. That's how Esau do it. If you don't have
a stick to fight with.
That's it. In its simplest form. You know, if you don't have a S-300 system to knock down them planes, because Esau just gonna come in with his fighter jets and bomb the hell out of your infrastructure. And then he'll send it. But if you have that, he can't do that. Then he got to come fight like a man, a mano. And you ain't built like that. And that boosts those other nations, man. Because you got to think, man, Vladimir is probably like, damn, we've been building up my military. Like, y'all can't. That's how America thought. America won the Cold War because Russia lost that war. After Russia lost that war in Afghanistan, that's when the Americans was like, look, nigga, y'all not ready for us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got your ass kicked by some towel heads. We will fuck y'all up. And then even the Soviets was kind of like, yo, they was looking around at each other like, yo, yeah, we ain't ready for them. Like, we ain't even ready for them. America's now, the tables have turned to where America's, they got to think, yo, China and Russia's being gassed now. They like, yo, we got a standing army. We got S defense system. We got, y'all can't fuck with them. Y'all can definitely fuck with us.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was this week or last week, but China and Russia had joint military exercises.
I mean, whether it was this week or last week, they've been having those joint exercises. Yeah, they've been having those joint exercises, you know?
If I may mention, when you were saying 10 years ago they were never thought to go against America, that's this biblical prophecy, the weak saying I'm strong. Now they feel that they have that capability of weapons, the anti-defense mechanism. They feel they have a fighter's chance, man, a puncher's chance, man. You know, and that's what's happened. Their spirit is now being more confident. They're not looking at America as, oh, we got to stay away from him. He's the big bad bully. No, now they feel like we can take them down, man.
Yeah, what did it say? Is this the man who made the earth tremble?
I got
Isaiah 14. We could read that too.
You want to go back to it?
No, go ahead. You got it.
I got Obadiah 1:7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Yeah, even probably those Afghanistan people. You know, he over there talking about some, hold it down, and they was like, yeah, okay, give us weapons so we can fight. Give us some Humvees, show us how to do it. Yeah. You know, we got you. And then shows you lead mind control. They have mind control over Igbo. Hey, America's that bully though. They say when they leave, they be talking again.
And prevailed against thee. They that ate thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
Yeah. Pakistan.
Yep.
Because what them Afghanistan was doing, it was you know what I mean, fire rockets. You know, running to Pakistan.
Yeah.
And Pakistan, America was giving aid, and so much aid to Pakistan, and so much Trump cut off the aid from Pakistan because he's like, look, we ain't gonna be giving you bread, and you basically harboring a terrorist. Even Osama bin Laden was
he was hiding out in
I
forget the name
Pakistan.
of the place. It was Bodnim or something like that. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I forget the name, but you know, and Pakistan was playing games.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. So people that you think, I mean, all of them, the Europeans, all right, the Russians, everybody that you think is your friend, man, they're not your friend.
Not the last part. It says, there is none understanding.
Wait, read up a little bit, brother.
It says, they that ate their bread have laid a wound under thee.
Yep.
There is none understanding in him.
Yeah, you can't. So you tried to negotiate, you tried to deal, but there ain't no understanding in these devils, man. All they know is war. So how's Heavenly Father going to take them out? By the methods, by what they know, which is war. They don't know peace, man. They don't know to leave people alone. They don't know to stand down.
If I mean, that's poetic justice. You know, because this is that's poetic justice. This says thus by violence shall that which the Bible be torn down. He saw the people by violence. Yeah, he saw given to by violence, and it's gonna go down by violence. That's how it is.
So I got precept to back you up. So Galatians 6 and 7, be not deceived, Yahweh Shemel Shah is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Yeah, man. You did this, E. You did this. You did this. You brought this bloodshed that's coming to you by yourself, man.
Sure.
You didn't need no help in straightening it. You created the problem and you created the solution, and you reacted off of it. You knocked down the towers to justify going in there into Afghanistan, starting a war in the Middle East, stealing their natural resources, to usher in your New World Order, to bring in the Patriot Act 1, the Patriot Act 2, to take away liberties, to make new agencies, the airport agencies, and to put restrictions to wiretap Americans' phones and do things that you did. And you did that. And then you went in there, you got your ass kicked, men died on both sides, and now you want to leave and you want to go back. You did all this. Nobody, the scripture said, woe to them that was spoiled and was not spoiled. Nobody did nothing to you. Nothing to you. Osama bin Laden was your guy. You trained him. You did all this, man. You did it all. Then you got these Republicans and these y'all want to be mad, you know? Just be mad at yourself, man. You know? Be mad at yourself. And you went, they love the Democrat. Fuck them all. They're both wicked as hell. They're both in bed with each other. The elites don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican. They're going to push their agenda regardless. The international bankers, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, the DuPont, they don't care if you go. They're not into politics. They're into power and money. That's why they say, I don't care who makes their laws. Give me control of the nation's money, man. Because money talking bullshit walk. Everybody got a price. Every politician got a price. Every last one of them. You give me the Edomite with the most integrity, that motherfucker got a price. And the elites know this.
So I got a quick one. This is Habakkuk 2 and 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood.
Go ahead, brother, suck it.
It says, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Yeah, you did all this, man. We could go on and on and on and on of the chaos, the confusion, the destruction that you created. And now we live in some beautiful times in which you getting ready to reap what you sow.
That's right.
Come on. Continue on, it says, verse 9, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
Yeah, throwing a rock and then hiding your hand. You want to start the Third World War, but you want to plan your escape to get away from it. You know, rather than just not doing it. You know what I'm saying? You want to start the mess and then try to plan for a Z, A, B, and Z. Have a plan Z for all. Who does shit like that? I'm gonna buy a gas mask because I'm just gonna fucking let off some gas in the room that I'm in. Just don't. You don't need the gas mask if you don't let the gas off in the room, man.
He's the unstable king, man. An unfit ruler, man. It just shows that that's like the brother mentioned earlier in this lesson. Man. He just got to get removed out of power, man. You know, the world is at chaos. And people are mourning and suffering because the wicked's bear rule. And this World War III, all this tension is going to be the cause and the end of their society and their rulership, man.
If I may add to, it's all about resources, man. It's about resources with the devils. Esau can never have enough, man. You know, he feels like the world belongs to him. These people, that's out there in the Middle East. If they have something, Esau automatically think that's for him. He should be the one directing it. He should be the one have a coach over it, man.
That's a good point. That's greed. That greed, because even if Esau was in power and he shared the wealth around a little bit, you know, the nations wouldn't be as mad as they are.
I got a piece of it.
Me too. Go ahead,
This is Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nation have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Yeah, they're upset at it because it don't work. You try to do democracy at home and it don't work. Trump thought he was still the president. All this voter fraud, you know, voters' rights. These Republicans redlining, passing laws. You trying to push something on us that y'all don't even fucking follow. Democracy, women's rights, it don't work. You know, what's that shit called? Women's liberation. It don't work. You know.
If I may add too, that's the pretext that Esau trying to use to save his ass in Afghanistan. He's trying to make it like, oh, we want to protect women's rights.
Oh, you had Karen come up and say, What about what's it, she said?
Yeah. What about the women's liberation? What
No,
about
she mentioned something in particular.
Mutilation, sexual
yeah,
mutilation,
real quick.
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But
That's what you're saying. They're using that narrative to
Yeah.
act like they're the big guy and they're the good guy and they're causing order in other people's lands. And here in America, the whole shit's all fucked up.
All fucked up. Yeah, that's the
You know,
narrative.
y'all over there in Afghanistan, y'all don't want no nigga women's fucking telling y'all they can't even be in the same room with men in the conversation. You think they gotta allow that mess to go over there? They're not, man.
I got something right
That
here.
shit don't work, man.
That's why the Taliban dude mentioned that now it's peace. Now basically he's bringing back peace because they can live to that standard that they want to be ran by.
That's
Right.
right.
They're trying to preserve their own life, man, their own way of life as it's supposed to be, you know. But Esau's trying to bring them democracy,
Yeah,
or
it says-
women's liberation. You know what I'm saying?
It says safer than before. Russian embassy in Kabul sees no reason to evacuate as Taliban takes over security. Ambassador tells RT. They're like, man, this is when America departs, it's safer than what it was when they were there. And that's the sentiment that the whole world is getting when America comes.
It's chaos.
It's chaos. It's confusion. But they saying as bad as this is basically saying as bad as they paint the Taliban to be, you're even worse, man. And this is how people view America. You Americans through your propaganda, you think that this is a good place. You think people welcome you. You think you go to help places because of your propaganda. But in all actuality, they know you come to destroy, man.
That's right. Hey, that's the spirit. I was gonna quote Revelations the 6th chapter. He's that red horse that only death and hell follow him. So just that little bit of horse leaving Afghanistan, putting a little peace, little life, relief. It just proves. Imagine throughout the whole world. This is why we need Yahweh Shai, so we can remove that cancer that's on the whole earth, man. So the earth can be at peace. Man.
I won't read this, man. Go ahead, brother. You said yes, because I mean, you can't. This like you gotta rejoice at these times we live in. When you get to say, what was that? Solomon, who said, "Bless his seed that liveth to see us down death of his enemies." Like this is truly a blessing, man. Give me that real quick, bro.
Ecclesiasticus, so the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
Come on. So let me read this real quick, right? The headline. I'm gonna read this. It's like a interlude too. But this the headline reads: Joe Biden's speech on the Afghanistan catastrophe was a despicable and insulting exercise in avoiding responsibility. So this is the writer Scott Ritter. And he's a former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer and the author of Scorpion King, America's Suicidal Embrace of Nuclear Weapons from FDR to Trump. He served in the Soviet Union as an inspector implementing the INF Treaty and General Spassky staffing, forgive me if I butchered that, during the Gulf War. And from 1991 to 98 as a UN weapons inspector. Follow him on Twitter. Now the reason why I read that is because this is not just like a
Anybody, that's some reputable.
a dork, somebody that just wanted to be a news reporter dad when they got older, went to school. He was somebody that had the inside scoop.
Has experience, you know.
Right. So it says the U.S. president's belated address blamed everyone but himself for the ongoing debacle in Afghanistan. But his lies and distortions about nation building and counterterrorism lie is the heart of the U.S. failures there. Nation building. When have you ever came to build somebody's nation other than your own? Have other people build your own nation?
He sort of even built his own nation. He had to kidnap people from all the way from West Africa to come over here and build his own empire, man.
That's right.
And then turn around and call you lazy. We're lazy, but you went halfway across the world to get people to do free labor for you. But you turn around and call us lazy.
People are starting to see, that's that taunting proverb. People are starting to see you for who you really are, man. It's that damn devil, man. The boogeyman off that whole earth, the cancer of the whole earth, man.
Yep. It says it was anybody could just jump in too. It was a well written speech on that. Most people agree. the draft talking points had been widely shared with the important political powers beforehand, underscoring the reality that the speech was more about massaging domestic politics than projecting facts based on reality. And that's America. America is more about lying, soothing, saying nice words, cunning, you know.
Very talented.
Yep. Given Joe Biden's resume, this should not have come to a shock to anyone. Hey man, there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run to, baby.
Hey, that's his skirt. His skirt is being lifted,
Yeah,
man.
man, you can't hide nowhere, man.
And his smooth words and what is it, that witchcraft is not working on the minds of the people. And people are starting to see it now, you know. And this is why when Esau can't control with their witchcraft or through their politics or what do you call it, their propaganda, this is why they have to come down with great wrath. And the Lord is putting that spirit in you to start war, and to start coming down. Ultimately, it's that snare. The Lord got a trick up his sleeve.
RPG walking around the street.
That guy,
Trophy to him.
that guy is happy as hell, man.
Ready to bust that off. And
Got an RPG.
any soldier, you see.
Right? So it says,
If I may mention, that's the sentiment of most of the East, man. The people in the East, they have that warlike spirit, man. And it's supposed to be the Lord putting that spirit in them. As according to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, it's going to be a time of war and a time of hate. So hey, that's the Lord putting his chess pieces, moving his chess move for that checkmate, man.
Yeah, you gotta remember too, the spirit, our ancient spirit, man. They came back to take vengeance for what happened in the past, man.
Fill a room.
In the prophecy, man.
I'm gonna bring it back, right? We still in RT, okay? It says the draft talking points had been widely shared with the important political powers beforehand, underscoring the reality that the speech was more about massaging domestic politics than projecting fact based on reality. Given Joe Button's resume, this shall not come to a shock to anyone. Given Joe Biden's resume, this should not have came as a shock to anyone. Yeah, Joe Button's doing the same bullshit. Shock to anyone who watched the 78-year-old first-term president. And this dude said he's been in office for
40 years plus.
No, he said no. But in politics, he said he's been in office for 12 months, and the board had to correct him like, oh no, it's been 12. It hasn't been 12 months. He's like, oh, it feels like it. He can't remember nothing, man. It's true. They said the 78, you old as dirt, man. Jim Crow Joe. A 78-year-old first-term president, 47-year-old veteran of Washington. He's been in here for 47 years, and what have you done? The 3-strike crime bill, and molested a bunch of children. Sniffing little girls' hair and shit like that.
The groping kid.
Creepy Joe.
Creepy Joe, yeah, Sleepy Joe. That's what Biden was called, Sleepy Joe. I mean, Trump.
Hey, yo, man, if I may add, man, that's why Uncle Trump really did say that. He said, I did more for so-called blacks in 48 months.
Yeah, he did for fucking 48 years.
48 years, yeah.
It says the veteran of Washington, D.C. politics stepped up to the podium yesterday to finally speak on the unfolding crisis in Afghanistan.
A crisis that they created.
Yeah.
And it's not really a crisis. It's not a crisis. See, Esau's looking at it as them losing grip. But this is needed for the world.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? To go back to the way that it was supposed to be. You know? And it's ushering in the coming of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
That's what it's ultimately doing. Because these devils, like you see, and all across the world, they have lost the grip on whatever nations they have set up, you know, with that fake democracy bullshit. And the first thing was they lost Christianity. And once they lost the Christianity as a stepping stone,
The religious aspect.
yeah. The next thing to topple after that was going to be what? Government.
The money.
The money's next.
The money.
The
money-
three dogs got
the
them in
money's
power.
next.
They're gonna.
And the money, as a matter of fact, Russia just got rid of all its American currency, basically.
Yeah. The
And
money's
China
next.
is going to follow suit. The
Yep.
other nations will follow suit. That's the money. The next thing is the military, man.
Yeah.
That's how you gain power. All right, through your, first of all, you gotta have military might, man.
Yep.
You get power through your military might, and once you take over, you make people pay tributes. That's where your money comes into play, and then spiritually, you have people follow you because you're in power.
Yeah,
So you control, the spiritual mind. And those are the three frauds. Those are how that's how you obtain power, right? When we get in power, what we gonna do? First of all, the Lord's gonna come back. He's gonna smash people. When He smash people, we're gonna force them to follow our laws, our statutes, our commandments, and they're gonna be paying tribute to us. All right, and that's how you take power. All right, that's how the Babylonians and the Persians and the Greeks. That's how they took power. Alexander went and forth and he conquered. After he conquered, what did he do? He made people pay tribute to him. All right, so the Heavenly Father is taking down Esau's strongholds that he had, man, and the military ones. We in the process of it.
Yeah, I got a quick one.
Go ahead, bro.
Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Yeah, now hold that. Let me read this article because we're gonna go right back into that. That's good. We'll go backbone right off that, right? So this is back to Sleepy Joe, right? And quote, I always promised the American people that I will be straight with you. End quote. The fact that Joe Biden uttered that sentence with a straight face, Joe Biden uttered that sentence with a straight face underscores the discreet nature of American politics today. And they clowning this guy. They're like, you really said that with a Joe Biden being straightforward with the American people is a joke in itself, man.
Yep.
This dude is on camera flip-flopping, lying. He'll say just about anything at any time. It's been proven. He's on record. Matter of fact, there's a video of this devil. He's just signing a blank book. He's just signing a signature on it. He's sitting at a desk and he's just sitting there signing a blank book, man. I wish I could show you brothers that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but if I may add, where was all this talk when he was vice president to Obama about coming out of Afghan and exactly what he's saying right now, showing you that it's all bullshit, man.
Yeah.
He didn't even have that same vibe.
It says the fact that Joe Biden uttered that sentence with a straight face underscores the discreet nature of American politics today, because other than acknowledging that the situation on the ground in Afghanistan unfolded more quickly than we had anticipated, this is quote, more quickly than we had anticipated, nothing Joe Biden said could be constructed as straight up. And you said that. He said, look, it happened, the overrun happened more quickly than we anticipated. They said they thought that it would take a longer time to, but eventually you're saying you knew that there was nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You knew that eventually they was going to take over. You didn't know it was going to be 2 weeks, but you knew that they was going to take over.
That's the spirit, because I was just so when you think about it, like the Lord Yahweh Shah is putting Esau in a position where he has to make that move. He has to just, hey man, it's the Lord's controlling the step. The scripture says the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. You turn it whithersoever you will. All right. So with these situations happening, Esau wants to do it go right, but he's gonna go left. You know what I'm saying? And it's all orchestrated by Yahweh Shah.
Yeah, that's the snare that the Lord set up, and he's not aware of.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because of his pride. His pride blinded him.
Yeah, pride is what? It's deceptive and it's destructive, man. Pride deceives you and it will destroy you. That's why you just say pride go before destruction. Right? And before a great fall. A haughty spirit. It says, this is quote, this is Joe Biden. We went to Afghanistan almost 20 years ago with clear goals. Get those who attacked us on September 11, 2001.
That's a lie.
To make sure Al Qaeda could not use Afghanistan as a base from which to attack us again. Al Qaeda was trained by you.
Yeah.
We did that. We severely degraded Al Qaeda in Afghanistan. I mean, Al Qaeda is really just a name. You're not going to kill the idea. The idea of what Al Qaeda was you went to go fight them and they was fighting back. So the idea of them just fighting you is still there, man. You could get rid of a group of one set. You could destroy the rolling 60s, but you still there's other grip sets that you got beef with. That mindset is still it's generational. There's somebody that was 1 year old in 2021. They're 20 years old now, and they grown up hating you. In 2001, it's 2021 right now, and they grew up hating you their whole life. You know, that's a mind frame you can't kill. You can get rid of a group, but you can never kill that mind frame. It says, we never gave up for the hunt of Osama bin Laden, and we got him. That was a decade ago. What Joe Button fails to address is that the U.S. from the start conflicted Al Qaeda with the Taliban, and as such, our war was as much about defeating the Afghan tribal reality as it was getting Osama bin Laden. One only needs to read the accounts of the opening phase, the U.S. military action in Afghanistan in October 8, 2001 to realize that we were at war with Taliban more than Al Qaeda. Moreover, having failed to kill bin Laden at the Tora Bora in December 2021 or destroy Al Qaeda during the operation in the Condor in March 2002, the United States then abandoned Afghanistan with the critical mission of destroying Al Qaeda and the Taliban unfinished and began preparations to invade the occupation of Iraq. True, the U.S. was able to locate and subsequently kill Osama bin Laden in May of 2011, but the fact that the U.S. Special Operation Forces and CIA permanently assessed continued to wage a difficult and increasingly bloody counterterrorism campaign after that point only underscores the reality that bin Laden's raid was not the game-changing event Joe made it out to be. Quote, our mission in Afghanistan was never supposed to have been nation building. That's what he said. It never was supposed to be creating a unified central democracy. So he's admitting it. And Joe would that devil would tell the truth every once in a while. Like he'll tell his true intent. Like, look, man, our goal wasn't to rebuild that shitty ass place or to build a democracy. When a nation invades the occupants, invades and occupies another, in the process removing the original form of government with one of your own choosing, it is by definition engaged in nation building. Semantics aside, the fact that the heart and soul of the non-counterterrorism mission of the U.S. military in Afghanistan was defined by the work of so-called provisional reconstruction team. Their task was quintessential a nation-building exercise highlighting the revolutionist fantasy world that Biden and his advisors constructed to justify their current actions. Biden may have been personally against embarking on nation building when he was vice president, but the fact that the nation building was a core mission of the United States in Afghanistan, the truth Joe Biden can erase by simply declaring it never was.
If I may add too, it shows you the pride of these devils, man, the arrogance of these devils. They sit all the way down in Washington and they want to tell the people in their country how to live their life, man. Yeah. It shows you it's so delusional, man.
He said he keepeth and gathereth from himself all nations of people.
Come on, I got something real quick. This is Psalm 64 in verse 8. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. Yeah. All that see them shall flee away.
Yeah, every now and then they'll snitch on themselves.
That's why you have articles like that, because now people starting to be like, all right, we get it now. You see that this president ain't for us. You see that he's just talking shit.
Yeah,
he's just talking as guys.
It looks like he sold out America in that aspect over there with that whole war. You know what I'm saying?
And we gotta understand, Russians are Edomites, man.
Yeah.
You know, so that's Esau. You know, being divided, Satan against Satan, and that's Esau telling on himself, man. His own sword falling on himself. RT is a good source to go to. That's not filled with American propaganda, but it's Esau. You know,
this is Ecclesiastes 12:14. It says, "For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil." You know, so when you look at it, they can talk about a utopian plan, or they can talk about doing good for people, but in the end, you know that it's going to be some type of back story with them that's going to predominantly is going to end up to be an evil cause in the end altogether. You know what I'm saying? Esau, his spirit ain't upright in him, man. He only seeks to be Debo and boss people around and take your resources and everything that you own. You know? That's what happens.
I got real quick, John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly.
Yeah, that's why he's coming. You got something underneath underneath the hood.
Yeah.
You got some oil, some diamonds, some minerals, some people, some little boys. He coming to take something, and he coming to kill something. You know?
This is Isaiah 14, I'm
Yeah,
at the
we'll
top.
close on
It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own lands.
And that's what we waiting for. Go ahead.
And the strangers shall be joined with them,
The Israelite foreigners.
and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Yep.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, as servants and handmaids.
Yeah, you other nations will be in the kingdom, all right, but you won't be taking part in the festivities. You're gonna be taking part in the building. Go ahead.
And they shall take them captives, who captives they were,
Yeah.
And
The scripture say, he that leadeth to captivity shall go into captivity. Go ahead.
and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Yeah. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. We're gonna have you in captivity, Esau, and you other nations, man. That's a fact. Okay. Yep. That's thus saith the Lord. Yep.
Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrows, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for rest from our sorrows and from our hard bondage. We're waiting to be delivered out of these bodies, which are chambers of darkness, punching in work and taking orders from the devil. That's what we're waiting for. Go ahead, bro.
Wherein thou was made to serve,
Yep.
that thou shalt take up a proverb against the king of Babylon, and
That's
say,
happening. Go ahead. The king of Babylon is the president of the United States. Go ahead.
how had the oppressor ceased,
Yeah, he's the oppressor. Go ahead.
the golden city ceased.
Yep.
The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked.
Yeah, the staff is a symbolic of rulership. Go ahead. And the wicked is Esau. The scriptures say when Alexander the Great and his generals took root of the earth, wickedness is multiplied on the planet. I'll tell you that they should call them the border of wickedness, Esau. The people on whom the Heavenly Father will have indignation forever. All right. So Esau is the wicked. Go ahead.
And the scepters of the rulers.
Go ahead.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
All these wars that we was talking about today, this is Esau's responsible for. Even the wars that he's not directly responsible for, he has what's called a proxy war. A proxy war is a war that's fought between two nations indirectly. So you have one nation will be funding. For instance, you had you'll have America funding, the Taliban's fighting the Russians, So they're giving them weapons, they're giving them intel. That's a proxy war. Or you'll just have pulling the strings, like the brother said. Or you'll just have the CIA involved. Guerrillas. You had what's called the Bay of Pigs, in which you had these old Cubans that tried to invade Cuba. That's a proxy war, man. Castro. Yep, that's a proxy war. America, the CIA is involved. If there's bloodshed, Esau, the so-called white man, is behind it. Whether it's in Africa, Civil War, Sudan, North Sudan, South, no matter where it is, he's behind it, man. Go ahead.
It says, he that ruled the nation in anger is persecuted and unhindered.
Yep. Go ahead.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet.
Yeah, that's when it's going to be peace on earth. There's going to be peace on earth when these devils are bounded up. Go ahead.
They break forth into singing.
Hey, that word quiet goes into peace, goes into calmness, But they break forth into singing. Go ahead.
Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee.
Yeah, even the trees, the grass, those are live organisms. They need water, they need sun to live. But they're going to be happy once Esau is taken out of power because, it's going to say it.
And the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us.
Yeah, a fella is like a lumberjack. Somebody who lays down lumberjack, because you have trees that you use that's just for oxygen. You have rainforests that serve a purpose in ecosystem. You're not supposed to cut down rainforests. You're not supposed to cut down certain trees. There's certain trees that you're supposed to cut down to use as wood, and use as certain materials to build and to do things. And there's other trees you're not supposed to cut down. You're supposed to leave them up, man. They're part of the ecosystem. But Esau, he doesn't give a fuck. He cuts down whatever he wants.
Destroy the whole earth.
Right? He'll destroy the whole earth. He'll cut down a rainforest to make condos. or he'll take he'll fill in water. You know what I'm saying? Just to make land. There's plenty of land. What are you doing, Esau? You know, but he's the devil. So when he goes down, you know, the natural organisms on the earth is going to rejoice. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Yeah, that condition. Hell's a condition that's waiting for, that was tailor made for Esau. And that hell has been hitting everybody else, but it hasn't been quite fitted for Esau. It's kind of like my mom, she used to give me acid, but she used to always say, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's because, like, the hell, it's like she didn't want to do it, you know what I'm saying? But she knew she had to do it to correct me. But the hell was perfectly meant for Esau. Hell is going to rejoice when it gets on Esau because he's going to be like, man, you did the worst. You created this condition of what you see. Like, you're perfectly fit. You're perfectly tailor-made for the condition of hell. Hell, so it's going to rejoice. Go ahead.
It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. They have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we?
And that's what's happening. You're being brought down low, all right? And then you're going to be brought down low. Okay, go ahead.
Art thou become like unto us?
Yep.
Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
Yeah, that pride is brought down low. Go ahead.
And the noise of thy voice, the worm is spread under thee.
Yep.
The worms cover thee.
Yeah, that's how low you're going to be underneath the ground. Because that's where worms dwell. So the scripture is getting symbolic, getting metaphorical on how fucked up you're going to be, the bad condition that you're going to be.
Covered up in it.
Yep.
Verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Yeah, heaven is what, man? The rulership, man. So how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Lucifer goes back to the light bearer, which they call themselves the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. So the script, how art thou fallen from heaven? How you fallen from your power? How you fallen from your great glory?
It's going into
You was saturated. You know, you was the best, the elites. You guys were the richest. You guys had everything. How? Go ahead.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Yeah, you weakened the nations. You had that power. You had that authority to weaken the nations, man. To turn cities into ashes. Go ahead.
But thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Yeah, and so much that's what you did. You created the Wright brothers, the first in flight. You know, you fulfilled that prophecy of putting your head in the clouds, man. Sending satellites up into the clouds. Go ahead.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Yeah, the sides of the north. Go ahead.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Yeah, I will be like the Most High. Go ahead. Technology, Planned Parenthood, who lives, who dies, trying to track people. All right, the MOB. All right, that's you trying to be the Most High. Camera systems. Okay, go ahead.
It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell in the sides of the pit. To the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
Yeah, they're not going to look at you the same way.
That did shake kingdoms?
Yep.
That made the world as a wilderness?
As a wilderness, Libya, Afghanistan, Kuwait, Korea. Go ahead.
And destroyed the cities thereof?
Yep.
That opened not
Yep.
the house of his prisoners?
Yeah, over 2.5 million black men in prison alone or for non-violent drug offenses, man. This is the house of the prisoner, man. China has a population 3 times as much, and your prison population dwarfs the world's prison population. Go ahead.
Also, the scripture says we are yet this day in our captivity. So, Israel's still in bondage.
Yep.
It says, verse 18, it says, all the kings of the nation, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house.
Yeah, eventually, that everybody will have their own lot, and you're going to have to witness that. You're going to have to stomach that. You're going to have to eat that. You're going to have to see the Moabs in their own lot, the Hamites in their own lot, all right, living underneath the law, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures.
It says, verse 19, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch.
Yeah, you're never going to reach any type of prominence. You're never going to see any type of justice. You're just going to be burnt up and wiped away.
Sticks for the fire.
Yep.
It says,
a faggot.
It says, as the raiment.
Yep.
It says, as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seeds of evildoers shall never be renowned.
A respected seed of evildoers. Go ahead.
Verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their father, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it on that. That's beautiful. Alright, so with that, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honor to the elders and the apostles. Peace, love, and salutations. By Yahweh, Shalom.
Shalom.
Abba, Abba,
Abba, Abba.
Kwame Yashar.
Kwame Yashar.